Welcome back, everyone. Nate had to jump off, but as soon as he did, my boy DJ Harley, that's right, the guy I always talk about, DJ, is here. He is the biggest Flash fan. So we got the Aquaman fan gone, and now here's the biggest Flash fan. And we were just talking about Flash. So, DJ, introduce yourself and whatever you want to promote, go ahead, my brother.
Hey man, how's everybody doing? My name is DJ. I'm a stunt man. I do my thing. I'm out here in Atlanta. Anybody wanna see what I got? You can always find me on Instagram. My Instagram is DJ Harley Stunts 91. Just look me up. You guys will be able to see what I'm all about. See all the things that I got going on out here in Atlanta with all this stunt work. And big ups to my boy Danny V for letting me be on here. I appreciate it. Thank you. He's actually one of the guys who helped me get into this too. So, full circle. I really appreciate it, man.
They don't need to know that.
In my hometown of the A, man.
Word?
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta.
I didn't know that. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
I lived in Atlanta more than, I should have.
I grew up on the east side, like I don't get the Decatur area.
Oh, yeah? That's what's up, bro.
For real. I'm actually right here in Stone Mountain.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Oh, really? You're in Stone Mountain? That's cool.
Sir.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was in Atlanta. So when I moved from New York, I went to Atlanta. And then, obviously in Florida. But then when I moved to do the stunt stuff, before my sickness and stuff like that, I lived in Jonesboro. But
I used to live in Jonesboro.
No way. No, but what's funny is the area of Jonesboro I was at, 10 minutes this way, you were in the hood. 10 minutes this way, you in yeehaw country.
Right off of Tar Boulevard. I went to Mount Zion High School my freshman year.
Damn.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah. Everybody got a piece of ATL on the building.
Yeah, for real. All right, so DJ, this is what we were going on. So, so you can just go ham, bro. And, Marcus and I will jump in whenever. So we were talking about the significance of Flash. I was saying how, and I mentioned you, which is funny, before you hopped on, I mentioned, how you were telling me your likes, your dislikes of Flash because he's your favorite character, all the Flashes, and we were getting into some theories about it. So, we'll get into those with you as soon as, you say your piece. But I was saying that Flash saving everybody was my favorite moment because throughout the movie, you saw everyone had their importance,
Yes.
Superman's the strongest, Cyborg has the tech or whatever. But when everyone died, because including Superman died. Mm-hmm. So the theory for me saying that is that it couldn't have been just Darkseid and the mother boxes. That means Darkseid got the anti-life equation in that one and destroyed everybody.
And destroyed everybody.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I agree with you. I love the importance that they placed on these characters. It was a big step up from, the previous theatrical cut that we had before. Especially with Flash, because, like you said, I'm a huge Flash fanatic. You guys can see. I love the fact that he had such a significant piece to fix everything and to, pretty much allow the Justice League to be formed, because without what he did, the Justice League itself wouldn't have the ability to be formed afterwards. So I do really appreciate the significance that they gave him. And they did it all out with all the other characters too. They really did. Like Cyborg's significance was,
to me, he was the heart of the film.
Yep. Out of this world.
Agreed. 100% agreed. I'm nitpicky with my favorite characters, so I can give you. Let me some of the things that I like that they did with him.
Yes, sir. Do it up, bro. Tell them what you love and what you hate.
Some of the things that I really, really liked about the Flash, I loved that when he's moving, they really use the slow-mo and they show the things that are happening around the Flash and how fast certain things are moving in comparison to certain other things. But meanwhile, he's still moving at his normal pace, which would be faster than everything else. I love the way that they did that cinematically. I love the choreography behind the way he did certain movements. I don't like the way he runs. I really don't like the way he runs.
Thank you. I hate the hand going.
I love how many of you did it at the same time.
I really don't like the way he runs. And it's like, for me, Barry Allen, he was bullied as a child. So, like, he spent a lot of his time running from bullies. So he kind of knows how to run. He's not going to look so sloppy when he's moving. And I mean, like, I kind of get it. He's moving awkwardly because he's moving so fast. But, I mean...
Don't give that man an excuse. That boy can't run in real life. That's what it is.
I'm trying to, justify giving the excuse, but I really can't. He should know how to run.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after having his powers for 6 months to a year by now, he should at least be used to being slower than light speed, considering where he stops himself is going at light speed. So that's just something that he should already be accustomed to. Ezra Miller did a great job with what they gave him.
Yeah,
he really did. I take nothing away from Ezra Miller as an actor. He did a really good job with the role that they gave him. Sadly for me, it wasn't Barry Allen.
Thank you. Thank you, because Barry is my favorite Flash. You know this. Me and you talked about it. Barry's my favorite. He's the one I grew up with. Justice League animated series. And he was funny, but he wasn't spastic like Ezra Miller was.
Yeah, he was a little bit too over the top. He to me, he was more like a Bart. I mean, you can maybe get away with a younger Wally, but he seemed a lot more like a Bart Allen to me as opposed to a Barry Allen.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, that's not a knock on Ezra Miller. He can only do so much with the script and direction that they give him.
Yeah.
So another thing that I really like that they did, I like the fact that because originally they don't really, go into detail about what Flash's suit is made out of, if I remember correctly, in the original theatrical cut.
No,
they do, but it's brief. It's kind of like they say it. He says it, but then it's not. How do you say
descriptive?
Thank you.
It's not as descriptive as they had it in this cut. So it's like in the original cut, it was like his suit is kind of made out of a metal, which makes no sense if he's constantly surrounded by an electric charge.
It said titanium alloy or something like that.
Yeah, so it was for me, it was kind of weird. Also, the suit looks like they rated the 2017 Power Rangers. I'm not a big fan of his suit. And I kind of like the little quip that the CW verse made at it when, Barry Allen from CW kind of pokes at it and he's like, this looks safe.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, it's nothing like, nothing big. It's just kind of like, I'm poking at it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing in reverse where they kind of pay homage to the CW's. It's like, well, this looks comfortable. What is this made out of? And Ezra Miller was like really trying to figure out what the CW's Flash's suit is made from. So it's like I like that they kind of did that. That was pretty cool for me. And with this cut and them going into a little bit more of a description on the Flash's suit, it kind of made more sense with what Barry Allen said, where the CW's Barry Allen, excuse me, where it's like this is safe and it makes sense with the electric charge that the Flash himself gives off. So for me, that was kind of cool.
So you said you had a problem,
but I get it.
Yeah, you said you had a problem with the blue instead of the red, right?
Oh man. So first,
explain that to the audience that may not know or who do know.
So first, they made it very apparent when Ezra Miller's Flash crossed over with the CW Flash, that they're part of the same multiverse, meaning that they're still connected to the same Speed Force. In the CW's version of the Flash, it has already been stated that your lightning color is indicative of your speed. The faster you go, the lightning color changes, and we see that with people like Trajectory, who ends up turning blue and then white right before she disappears. We see that with the little showings that we have of Godspeed, where his lightning is white, but that's because he's injecting himself with VX constantly over and over and over again. This Barry Allen for the Snyder cut, his lightning should be yellow or red.
Yep.
Because at this point he's only been a speedster for, like I said earlier, 6 months to about a year. He shouldn't have the lightning color indicative of a higher caliber speed. So for me, that's one big mark. Also, the future Flash is the only Barry Allen that has blue lightning. And this, for me, kind of throws off his entire look, because should they go a route where they introduce Wally West and Wally West dies, which sends Flash into a spiral to, have him come back in time to try to save Wally West, what are they going to do with his lightning at that point? Because that's a distinction that the future Flash has. The other thing that kind of messes with me is that at this point, he didn't even know that his name was going to be the Flash. He didn't get that name or have the idea of that name until he ran into the CW versus character. And so that meaning at this point, he should have one of the nicknames like the Blur or the Scarlet Speedster. Him having blue lightning makes no sense with nicknaming him the Scarlet Speedster if you see nothing but blue as he runs by. So you're removing an entire nickname that is Barry Allen and almost every Flash's persona.
So do you think there'll be an iteration, because me and Marcus, we were discussing with Nate, that we were thinking because of the Flashpoint movie, they're talking about crossing him over into multiverse, and how we got that stated was because Michael Keaton is not playing Thomas Wayne, he's playing Bruce Wayne, old man Bruce Wayne, in a different universe. So with that being confirmed, do you think we will see an iteration of Wally because of the nightmare scene that we saw? Maybe Flash, instead of keeps going to Batman, it's Lois is the key, and nothing changes ever. Maybe he goes and runs so fast into a parallel universe, maybe meets up with Wally or somebody. Or do you think that he's going to get the nickname Scarlet Speedster? Like, let's say, for instance, because you know how some directors, they like to change things up, right, Marcus? You know that because you're a producer. Is that sometimes they change things up. Well, maybe in his universe, right, that the blue is a precursor to his red getting the Flash Scarlet Speedster name.
I mean, I could see it. And I would honestly really hope that would happen, because then it could, completely throw everything that I have just said about the Blue Lightning off, which would make me very happy as a Flash fanatic. My only issue would still be is that they would kind of throw off the connection that they made to the CW verse with the Speed Force.
Yes and no, because now you can explain that different multiverses can have a different effect on.
But the Speed Force is connected throughout the multiverse itself.
Yeah, throughout. They set that. Yeah, they set that in stone.
Well, yeah. So, Zack Snyder, you fucking up. No, I'm kidding. So, Marcus, man, what's your take on Flash, man? Because you've been quiet. You've been a good listener, bro.
I'm not a huge fan of Ezra Miller, and like your boy said, DJ said that I'm used to seeing him he's sarcastic, but he's more serious. You know what I mean? Not so much of a prankster and nerdy, kind of clumsy the way Ezra portrayed him. So I'm hoping for Flashpoint that they'll mature him a little bit more, into his role and into his career that he's going into now that they introduced that more so in Snyder's cut than they did in Whedon's cut.
Yeah.
So I hope they kind of take notes from the CW version in the animated films. You know, because he's just too goofy.
Yes.
I love Barry because Barry, like you said, he was really funny, sarcastic, but his funny was like someone who's actually funny. Right. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to try.
It's not forced.
Yeah, and you're not spastic. You're just funny, and you're making jokes, and everyone's like, and that's why I loved. Again, I grew up with the Justice League Unlimited. That Barry Allen, man, because he would say some shit. And it would piss everybody off because they're just like, it's not a time to joke. But it was funny because it was spot on of what he was joking about. And then not only that, again, I said this with Nate, as I'm saying it with you guys, is that DC has the best animated films, hands down. There's no comparison. Agreed. As a big Marvel fan, and you guys know I'm a huge Marvel fan. I can honestly say that there's no comparison. The only Marvel film that's animated that I can be like, yeah, that's close, is Hulk versus Wolverine, because that was incredible.
That was good.
Other than that, dude, every single animated film was just on another level, bro. Yep. And the Flashpoint Paradox movie was absolutely incredible, dude.
Speaking of Flashpoint Paradox and you know, us bringing up Flashpoint earlier.
Yeah.
That also another point on Ezra Miller's suit. There is no yellow in it, which really frustrates me as a Flash fan, because Eobard Thawne is the reverse of Flash in literally every way, down to the suit. If there is no contrasting color in Ezra Miller's suit, then there is nothing for Eobard to flip, which inevitably ruins Eobard's look itself when Flashpoint does come out. Because he is a key point in Flashpoint Paradox.
Are you talking about the Nightmare one? Because I thought the regular one had it. Did it not? Was I mistaken?
There's no yellow piped in.
There's no yellow.
Nothing.
At all. Only the Flash itself.
Gotcha.
The white disc is like gold, but there's no yellow in the suit whatsoever.
Dude, they're probably going to save that for the movie, actually. Now that
I'm hoping that Bruce Wayne, they kind of do with Ezra Miller that they did with Spider-Man, and you know how Tony Stark
does the tech.
helps his tech come up. I'm hoping they do that with Barry Allen, because in this version he doesn't have a Cisco Ramon, So I'm hoping that between Ryan Choi, him being introduced, and Bruce Wayne, they're able to come up with tech that suits all of Barry Allen's needs.
I could see that happening too, because Nate was saying something which I thought was pretty interesting. Nate was saying that maybe they're using one of the mother boxes for him to go back that fast and that much for him to charge. That's why he crosses the multiverse. And that would make sense that if he crosses the multiverse, something happens to his suit, it's damaged, whatever, you know what I mean? And he needs something to protect him. And then you have Michael Keaton's Batman. And if it's true, like Marcus said, that they're trying to implement the elements more of Batman now, thank God for me, because I'm out of all DC characters, Batman's my favorite. You know what I mean? So I haven't
Martian Manhunter for me.
Oh, nice, dude. I'm glad, because then we'll jump onto Martian Manhunter so you can talk. But yeah, man, so it's like, for me, I can see that happening. Like, Bruce is like, all right, we gotta create you a suit, we gotta get you things, because if it is in a darker timeline, right, that's similar to Flashpoint Paradox, then he's gonna need to be protected, and so I can see that happening, and then him having the actual lightning on there. So that would be cool, man. I like that.
You know what's really cool too? Is that
you're going to be working on the new Flash movie? As a stuntman?
I wish, bro. I hope. One can only, please, if you guys are watching, I'm here.
Hashtag DJ Harley. Hashtag DJ Harley for Flash.
Let me double Wally. Please,
There you go.
Wally West, let me double him. Or Wallace, sorry. But yeah, no. What's really cool too is that there were certain people that were missing from the Nightmare, if you noticed, and that leaves interpretation for a lot of things. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember. I would have to rewatch the ending, but I don't remember seeing Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
No, they're not. But if I'm not mistaken, that plays on the vision that Cyborg had.
Yeah,
remember
they were dead.
Yeah, thank you, Marcus. Yeah, that they were dead, because Cyborg's vision was of, and this is how it connects to Batman v Superman too, is that his vision was that you see Darkseid kills Aquaman, and then you see that Wonder Woman is dead, and then you see Superman evil with Bruce's cowl. So I believe that's how they're all connecting the whole Nightmare thing. So they're dead. So they're not even. I would have loved to see the Flashpoint, like how they were enemies, and they're just like, in their respective spaces. But I don't think that's happening right now.
But what I was going to say is that it's cool because they're taking a lot of different deaths from different dark alternate timelines and sort of meshing them. And I'm sort of excited to see the way that they do it. I know that not a lot of things have meshed well because they initially rushed things. A lot of people say to catch up with Marvel because Marvel's success with the formula they had was so good. I'm hoping that they take their time and they really do find a way to mesh these alternate endings for these different heroes from Flashpoint, even from Apocalypse War, whichever endings that they can find the way to mesh. I'm hoping that they're able to do so, and I'm hoping WB kind of retracts what everybody's been saying, thinking that they're not going to do or continue the Snyderverse, because the Snyderverse leaves the opening for all of this.
Yep.
The original theatrical cut doesn't leave the opening for all of these different avenues that they can take. They kind of shortchange themselves with that one, and so I'm really hoping they retract that. This allows them to, play on Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, allows them to play on Flashpoint Paradox, allows them to play on Justice League Dark itself. It allows them to do a whole bunch of things with this cut.
I think that's going to happen, right, Marcus? Because didn't you and Nate say the exact same thing, though? What are the odds? DJ was not in that conversation at all, guys. Listen, for you viewers out there, DJ was not a part of this. DJ, when he messaged me to come in, that's when we switched Nate and DJ. Nate said Apocalypse War, and then The Darkest Night and everything else. So did Marcus, and now you. That's insane. Talk about synchronicity, bro.
Yeah. That's the only way.
We're comic book fans.
That's the only way they could go. The way that Snyder just laid out this platform, that's the only route that they could go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And then also, Marcus, you were saying that HBO said that if WB doesn't take it, that they'll do the series.
Yeah, that they were offering to do a series. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think it would work. Like I said, if they did it in the vein of how Snyder set it up, along the lines with the Watchmen series that came out last year. Yeah.
Incredible.
Or 2019, rather.
Yeah. So, Marcus, now's your time to shine, man. Martian Manhunter. Yo, I jumped. Listen, when I saw him, I'm not going to lie to you, I jumped out of my seat for real, bro. The only thing that I did not like that hurt my soul, which I didn't care about too much, was that he didn't have the accent. I was like, oh! I was like, no! Because
it's Harry Lennox, though, man. He cemented himself in Hollywood, so
yeah,
he's too old to try to pull that off. If it was him like 30 years ago, like in the 5 Heartbeat days and stuff like that, then yeah, he would have attempted to do an accent or something. But yeah, man, I agree with you, man. That was the one thing I was missing. But man, I had a dang on tear in my eye. when he switched from Ma Kent to John, man, I was like, oh my God, yes.
The reveal was beautiful.
The scene was great between Lois and Martha. That was just, man, that was so heartfelt. Like, you felt their pain, but then you felt her being a mom to Lois as well, not just Clark. Like, she accepted her, you know. And it was female, but then the reveal that it was John, you know, and then it makes you go back to how Harry Lennox portrayed Swanwick and Man of Steel to, you know, to the ultimate cut of, you know, Batman vs. Superman. Now to this, man, it was beautiful, man. My only gripe was the CGI was still kind of off. But other than that, I loved it.
I didn't have to say it.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. So when that scene, so like I said, I've been watching other people on YouTube and stuff like that because everyone's incredible out there, man. Like there's a lot of reviewers and a lot of people that are absolutely incredible, seeing all the details and stuff. But one person did everything that changed, like side by side and everything else, and one was that scene of when Lois in the Whedon cut was talking to Mama Kent, and they were like, "Yo, it looked like a TV sitcom set. It looked awful." Yeah. Not heartfelt. It was nothing. Yep. And then this, like you said, you feel it. But then on top of that, I'm wondering what John's part is going to be, because John already knows that Lois is the key. So I'm wondering if in the nightmare, like, universe in the future, if that's one that John didn't end up helping. You know what I'm saying? I wonder, because remember, he said, Lois, we need you more than you know.
Yep.
And it's like, oh shit, how does he know? You know what I mean? Like, how does he know? For real. Like, Batman doesn't even know. Like, he thinks he knows from the premonitions, but it's like, he doesn't really know, but John knows.
But if you think about it, like, Batman's premonitions, he's being told by what seems to be, you know, a future Flash. John's ability to read Batman's mind and the way he thinks is a lot more critical when it comes to something like that. You know, where Bruce is like, well, this is just a dream. John is like, this is a premonition.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Correct me if I'm wrong, DJ. I thought that John had to be close to somebody to read their mind. Is that not true? Can he read minds, like, from far away?
I mean, we don't know what he's been doing, who he's been impersonating this entire time. Obviously, he's been on Earth this entire time doing
for quite a while
behind the scenes. You know, so
that's cool, man. That is.
It's not too far fetched to say something like that as being as.
You're right. He could have been that little girl that Batman saved in Batman v Superman.
He could have been. You know, there's a lot of people that he could have been any one of, you know, the military soldiers or policemen when anything was happening, even as far back as, like, you know, Man of Steel, because we see that Bruce Wayne is present when the fight between Zod and Clark is happening. You know, so it can even go as far back as then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The little girl, when he was watching them fight, remember that he ended up holding? That could have been him. Shit.
Just being there.
I just wish that he would have been in the movie more, because of the fact that he's a major character of these two.
Yeah.
He's a big staple. You know, you got Batman, you got Superman, you know, you got Wonder Woman, but John is up there too.
Yeah.
So
I think, like, I'm going to piggyback off what Nate said, because I looked into that, and it's true. Like, Zack Snyder did a lot of things that WB told him not to do, and he's like, I'm gonna do it anyway. He's like, I'm gonna get in trouble, like, in Zack's head, which I absolutely love. That I'm not gonna speak for him, but you can kind of tell when someone's like, well, this is gonna be my last movie with you guys anyway, so fuck it, dude. I'm gonna go all out. Whatever. Like, what can you do? Fire me? Like, I'm not gonna continue with you guys anyway.
Yeah.
You know? And so I feel that was on his mindset, that he was just like, you know what? I'm not going to work with him again anyway. It's not like that I'm going to, and because WB did tell him he's not getting another movie. So in his head, he's like, well,
I'm not getting another one anyway.
I'm not getting another one anyway, so fuck it, dude, whatever. And I think that's so brilliant because look of how well it was played. But one of the things that he absolutely respected from them was that he filmed already the Jon Stewart scenes. He was supposed to be coming at the end to show up and to set up for the next sequel. They told him no. And then he was like, well, I don't feel comfortable, which is true with the whole movement, nowadays with anything could be portrayed, racial or not. He's like, well, I don't feel fucking comfortable cutting somebody out of the film that's of color right now. And then they're like, well, fuck, what are we going to do? And they said because they had the Green Lantern stuff they want to do. So for a good middle ground, they're like, well, what about this? And he took it. That was the only ultimatum they took. But also, that's why Jared Leto's Joker's in it too, because he was just like, well, then I'm doing something. You know what I mean? Like, I have to do something for the creative vision that he had. So, and I agree with you, bro. I agree with you that Martian Manhunter is a huge play, because the thing I like about Justice League that I didn't like about the first Avengers movie, because I really do. I think they played better on everybody's individual strengths. In the first Avengers movie, you don't get that.
Yeah, like in the first Avengers movie,
but the weaknesses too.
Yeah, correct.
Like in the first Avengers movie, I kind of feel like other than the maybe two moments that Hawkeye has, he's kind of missing in it. And the same thing with Widow. She has like maybe one or two moments, like one significant one being when she knocks out Hawkeye. So I agree with you on that. There are certain things that, the 4 hours that Zack Snyder put into this allowed him to, put some emphasis on things that other films weren't able to put emphasis on.
Mm-hmm. I just still feel, though, like we've gotten you got to see cool things in the first Avengers film. Like I said, I'm a huge Marvel fan, so that's why I'm harping on it, is that, we got a couple of instances of, like, Thor hitting Cap's shield or Iron Man doing it, and he's bouncing the blast off the shield. That's cool. You're seeing that come together, but I feel like it was more sporadic. Like their strengths didn't really play a part to the bigger picture, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh my God, if it wasn't for Thor, this wouldn't have happened. If it was, for Hulk, this wouldn't have happened. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you took a lot of those characters out of the Avengers, it would still be, I feel, the same outcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You didn't feel their cohesiveness as much as you did.
Yeah.
Like, you could have taken out Widow and somebody would have inevitably still found the scepter and shut down the portal. Like the only people that you really couldn't have taken out in that entire in the first one were, you couldn't remove Thor, Tony, and Banner.
I think Cap, like those three.
You could have personally, I think you could have got rid of Banner. You couldn't have gotten rid of Hawkeye because he's integral to doing Loki's bid. But you needed Cap, you needed
Iron
Tony,
Man,
you needed
Thor. Yeah,
but
if you had
Banner
those three
and Natasha, you didn't need one person.
I mean, the only reason why I would say you would have needed Banner in that instance is because of the fact that he was like a big gun and he took a lot of focus off of a lot of other people. But other than that, like I agree. But yeah, like you didn't need the whole squad there. Whereas this cut allowed you to appreciate every moment that each individual person had in this squad.
Absolutely.
And that's why I was saying, when it comes to like the Flash, I really loved what they did with him. For me, sadly, it just wasn't a Barry. And I also agree with you guys. I wish I would have seen a little bit more of Martian Manhunter. Like I wish I would have seen, I don't know, maybe him, on the side saving somebody, like on the back burner, like even if it's just a quick save at the very end of it all, or like even an image when Flash was turning back time to save people, of, you know, him coming back because he's trying to save somebody that just happened to be close to the battle or something. You know, like, give me some context that Martian Manhunter is doing more than just being a person there right now.
Yeah.
You know, I just wish I would have gotten that with him.
Yeah.
Dude, I agree with all that. But Marcus, like you said earlier, man, Cyborg, dude.
Ray Fisher really got to shine. As far as like the acting of everybody in the film, Ray Fisher, Ray Fisher was the star of the film, man. Him and my man that played his father, Joe Morton.
Yeah.
Is it Joe Morton? Yeah, Joe Morton. The two of them, man, stole the show.
Dude. But
hands down.
It reminded me, I'm telling you, it reminded me of Justice League Doom. That Cyborg was the key.
100%.
Yeah.
It was like, dude.
100%.
I loved it because, you know, when you watch Justice League Doom, well, and I'm going to bring it back on to when we talk about Batman, because Batman's my favorite character, but not only did that
I just said it was fun, bro.
Yeah, not only did Batman in that movie show you why he's Batman, because he's a plan for a plan for a plan. He's the chess master. You know what I mean? That's what I love about Batman that we haven't really got to see on the screen just yet, you know? But within that plan, the only one that could save Superman was Cyborg. And then not only that, he wasn't even a Justice League member yet, and Batman put him into the plan. You see what I'm saying? That's how important Cyborg was to this whole thing. And in this movie, I felt it, man. Like, people, and Spider-Man's my favorite character. With great power comes great responsibility, and if you're a comic book fan, you know why. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go into detail about it. But, dude, that phrase definitely belongs to Cyborg in this movie.
Yeah.
This, just with a thought, you could end the world with, you know what I mean, all the nuclear explosions and everything else, and you don't do it. And then you still have the heart of gold to help people. And no matter how broken he was, he didn't turn to the dark side.
Nope.
Yep.
Dude,
and I mean, like,
that power.
What made that so great, though, is you saw the dynamic of being a child and taking on your parents' personalities. So you still saw in him where in the film he was bullheaded like his father.
Yep.
But he had the compassion of his mother. You know, and then that little recording with Joe telling him, like you said, having the responsibility not to do these things, even though you have the power. You know what I mean? You see him at a crossroad thinking like, damn, I could go that route. You know, I got this ability to do whatever the hell I want to do, you know, but I gotta, you know, it's my responsibility not to exploit that.
Yeah.
To be a good man.
And I love that the very first thing he does while that's happening is kind of like, not stalk, but follow a woman who's struggling, and then immediately put $100,000 into her account because he sees her struggle. Instead of, you know, taking all his power to do whatever he wanted, or even help himself and put money into his own account and set up anything he wanted, he saw a person that he thought was struggling more than anybody else at that point, and immediately did what he needed to do to help that person. And he didn't do it in a way that would cause anybody any other type of harm. He wasn't thinking about anybody else. He was just thinking about being a better person, being a better being. And, you know, I watched your previous review, and, you know, your symbolism of him being the Frankenstein monster. The Frankenstein monster being kind-hearted is literally like, it's personified 100% through Cyborg.
Yep.
In that one moment alone, it's personified through Cyborg, and it was brilliant.
Yep. Yeah. His battle of still wanting to being conflicted. He thought that he was a monster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
And he was holding on to his humanity, you know, with that scene. And
And I thought it was interesting that you say that, DJ, because it's true. Like, I don't think he was stalking her, but I think the heart in him wanted to see if this person was really a good person.
Yeah. Like I know stalking isn't like the best choice of words.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but it just goes to show, like you said too, Marcus, you have that struggle that I'm a monster, but yet you still have the heart of gold. And then on top of that, as much, and it's true though, I loved his transformation because I feel in the movie, the reason why we love him so much is that his story came full circle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, everyone else is going to have their solo movies to do that. You know, in this one, his story came full circle because you have that monster, you have I'm broken. You know what I mean? I'm not, look at me. I'm broken. To have the final act when he says I'm not broken, when he was separating, you know what I mean? The mother boxes.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, yo, what a full way, because they tempted him. And that goes to show about the heart of gold. Because, again, anyone with that power would be like, you know what? Even me, I'd be like, yo, I'd be like, Thanos, snap, snap, snap.
Everybody.
A billionaire like that. Like, yeah.
For real. And you get a bomb, and you get a Corvette, and you get a this. You know what I mean? Like,
student loans.
Yep. I'd be doing some dumb shit. But it goes to show that the heart of gold that he had, that he didn't take it. Yeah. He didn't take it. And then that's why I love that nobody else could have done it. Because I feel like if Superman was in there and you had Papa Kent in there, that dude would struggle hard. You know what I mean? Yep. If you had Batman in there seeing his parents, he would struggle hard. You know what I mean?
He would break. Everybody knows that is the one thing that breaks Batman. It is the one thing that takes his concentration off of what he's doing. It's when you mention his parents. Batman would have had a real tough time with something like that.
Or if you had Robin in there, done. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That right now, that's his buzzer button, because remember, Joker talked about his mom, talked about everybody else. He didn't flinch. As soon as he mentioned Robin, he was like, remember before he said it, he's like, watch what you fucking say.
Yep.
Watch what you fucking say. And then all of a sudden he's like, and adopt a son. And you can see, like, he's like, I'm going to murder you. I'm going to slap you with my pee-pee in like 2 seconds, okay? Like, for real. This dude, like, my God, if anyone else was in there, bro, I'm telling you, the Wonder Woman's love, what's his name?
Steve.
If Steve was in there, she would break. Yep. You know what I mean? So, and then Ezra Miller is Flash's mom. Yo, like,
oh man, that shit breaks him all the time. So
that's what I'm saying. But no one could have done it.
Anybody
could not be. Yes. Oh my God, incredible, dude. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. And I love you see the, like you said, the dynamic with his parents, how he comes full circle with that, like his dad sacrificing himself, and then you see, remember, he had a lot of anger, and then you see it chipping away because he's like, I thought you wouldn't have come. He's like, well, you're my father. And then that's the slightest bit that he's, you know what I mean, that he's coming to that healing. And then when he's about to die, you see him lose it. He's like, no. And that's when the anger is just gone, and his full heart, full compassion is like, I love you, don't do this. And then he does it anyway. Insane.
It was a beautiful story. Like, it doesn't even need a film on its own. Like you said, it came full circle.
If I'm not mistaken, Zack Snyder said that the intention was always Cyborg's film.
Which is brilliant, because he had every intention to introduce the mother boxes and Darkseid's first coming and all of that stuff. So like it needed to be Cyborg's film. It honestly did, because this is all, like, the mother boxes have everything to do with Cyborg. He's the person who attaches to the mother boxes. He's the person who's able to activate boom tubes so this way they can get to Apocalypse when the time is needed. It's all about Cyborg when it comes to these mother boxes. So it needed to be a Cyborg.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Wonder Woman, dude, they did her justice in this movie, bro.
What do you think about the little hand touch between her and Bruce? I loved it. Setting up their dynamic. I love that. Setting up their little dynamic.
I love it, but I love it better in this one. I love it better than in this one than the Justice.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
And the reason being is because, see, again, I'm always going to bring up Justice League Unlimited because it's dear to my heart. You know what I mean? Besides the comics, we've seen their chemistry, and Bruce is a man whore. He sleeps with everybody.
That.
It's like, what was it? And How It Should Have Ended, when he's just like, whoa. When Superman's like, whoa, you told her your identity? He's like, what can I say? Women's my kryptonite. You know what I mean? And it's true, man, because everybody he lays pipe with, he's like, I'm really Bruce Wayne. You know, like, you're like, what? It was
everybody.
Like that easy, you know? Oh my God.
The black card, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, for real, man. And so, like, for me, I love that in Justice League Unlimited especially, Bruce and the animated series and a bunch of animated movies, he has that cold-heartedness of keeping everyone out because he knows that if he's vulnerable, it will break him. Because think about it, besides his parents, right? Him and Robin get into it. That's why Robin leaves Dick. You know what I mean? And Dick does his own thing because he said it. And I don't like the way they portrayed him in that TV show. That was dumb. You know what I mean? For the Titans show, I hated that because he would, even though him and Bruce had quarrel, he would never disrespect him like that. Because remember, that's like his dad. You know, so. But he left and he did his own thing. He created the Titans, became Nightwing, and did his own thing. And he's the only person that steps up to Bruce and calls him out on his shit. He always does when he's like, oh, well, you need to do this. He's like, nope. He's just like, he's coming with me. And he's like, and you're not saying anything about it. And then Bruce is like, all right. Yeah. You know, and that's the deal. Like,
I mean, like Damian does it a little bit. Damian kind of calls Bruce out a little bit, but because of the fact that Damian is Bruce's biological son, he's kind of like, he kind of, you know, sons him when he needs to. Whereas like Dick is like, if I say it, then you're gonna hear me, and you're not my dad, so you're not gonna say anything about it, even though low key you're my dad.
No, I think it's more of Dick is like, because Dick is the closest one to him. That's why I love the Battle of the Cowl. I know we're getting off subject, but we'll come back to it. But I love the Battle for the Cowl because he just gives it to Damian. He's like, I don't even want it, bro. Like, he's like,
yeah.
And Dick, you got to remember, Dick's been there the longest. So.
That's what I'm saying. So
he's seen the best Robin. He's seen all of Bruce's shit. So,
well, not only that, he's the best Robin. He's the only Robin that listened. That's why, to me, everyone's like, oh, you know, Damian's the best. And I'm like, yeah, if you go with skills because of his mom, you know what I mean, and everything else, sure. But right then and there. Yeah, but right then and there, like, when Dick could really handle Damian if he wanted to, but he's like, I don't want it, bro. Take it. But it gives Damian the respect to be his Robin later on. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's why Dick, to me, is the best Robin. But anyway, what I'm saying is that when Robin left, that hurt. And then he gets Jason, and then Jason dies brutally, and that broke him even more. And then depending on the split of the multiverse, remember, in the Dark Knight Returns story in that universe, when Jason dies, he calls it quits. He's like, everyone out. He's like, Barbara, you're done. Dick, you're done. He's like, nope, nobody else is getting close to me. And that was it. And then he turned to Old Man Batman, and then the next Robin was the girl. But that was like so many years later before he even let anyone close in. Yep. You see what I'm saying? Then you have obviously the other universes that, you know, then you get, what's his breath? Tim Drake, you know, and et cetera, et cetera. But he knows what it's like to lose people. Yep. Exactly. And he does not like it. So I love the dynamic in the animated show, and this is how it comes full circle. Thank God for my viewers. Sorry about that rant. He always has that distance with him and Diana, but he really loves her on the inside. Yeah. And my favorite when it showed it is on that episode when the thing crashed down onto Diana and he thought that she died, Remember?
Yeah.
And then he breaks his thing and starts digging for her. And then later on, you see that she was fine. And then he doesn't say anything, but she looks down and you see his arms are dirty and he covers it with his cape.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I love that subtlety. And I feel like in the Snyder Cut, we got that. And the Joss Whedon.
We got the subtleties.
Yeah, and Joss Whedon, we got, we're gonna hook up, she's gonna touch my pee-pee soon. You know, like, that was stupid to me. That was so stupid to me. So, but I love it.
But what was cool about it, too, like, even though a lot of people, myself included, didn't care for Wonder Woman 1984,
I heard a lot of bad.
It comes full circle, like, if you see it, she doesn't quite get over Steve Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
So to see her and Bruce have that little subtle moment of touching hands, you know, it goes into what you said, how he feels about her, but it goes to her finally letting go and getting over Steve, trying to move on from Steve, you know, and
That's
letting
cool.
another man into her life.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
But that's not why I think Wonder Woman was dope in this film. Like, that's all gravy, you know what I mean? But the reason why I thought Wonder Woman was dope in this film is because they did her justice, as in, like, showing her strengths. Dude, Joss Whedon, she had to keep spamming her bracelets. I'm like, dude.
Oh my God, bro. The spamming of the God Wave destroyed my entire perception of Wonder Woman for the DCEU. It was horrendous. I hated it so much.
Thank you.
I really did.
Because to me, you know, and I'm not trying to be on, like, you know, on a movement or anything, but let's be honest here. Wonder Woman is a fucking strong character. She's not weak.
Next to Soups.
Yeah, dude, she's just as strong. Just as strong. And I love it, and that's why I said it, you know, even though it's in both versions, I loved it. I loved he headbutts her. And she's like, you know what I mean? She's like, I'm headbutting you. You know? And then I love that because it's just like, she is that strong. And then when she's blocking all the bullets, she is that fast.
That was sick. I love
nasty,
that.
bro.
That was such a phenomenal intro for her. I was like,
And then their fight with Steppenwolf, again, in this one, you see she holds her own.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not, oh my gosh, she's getting beat up. You know what I mean? Like in the other one, to me, I feel, and this is, again, you know, I know I'm probably going to get backlash on this, but I feel in the Joss Whedon one, they made her like the girl character. Does that make sense? Like, I feel they made her the girl character. And that's stupid.
100%.
Like, she's super strong, but she's still a girl. No, that's not Wonder Woman's thing at all.
Exactly.
She's part of the
power,
fucking Trinity. You gotta showcase her, and that's what Snyder did.
The power gap between her and Superman in this film was definitely significantly smaller than it was in the theatrical cut.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which was a great thing for them to portray in this film.
Yeah.
Dude, Wonder Woman was my favorite DC movie for a long time. Like, 'cause the first film, the first film, until I saw Shazam.
It's still my favorite.
Well, I'm sorry, dude.
Shazam.
Man
of Steel is for me.
Really? Man of Steel is really good.
Yeah.
Shazam is my favorite because I feel, even though they mix some elements of the original and the New 52 of Shazam, I felt like he should be the only one that's kitty and hunky-dory, like all that jazz, because he's a kid.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So that's why I loved it, because I'm like, dude,
it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
It was a good movie.
Absolutely.
So many people said it was corny, and I was like, "Why do you think it's corny?" And they were like, "Oh, because look at how this adult is acting." I'm like, "Well, the adult is a 14-year-old child. That's like literally. There's I forgot exactly which film it's in, which animated movie it's in, but there's a film where he's literally flirting with Wonder Woman, and she punches him in the mouth, sends him flying, and then walks up to him and says, "You're a warrior, not a child. Act like it." Because he's constantly acting like a child. Like this is Shazam's character. So like when they did that for him, I loved it.
Yeah.
Was that the animated film that they didn't know that he was a kid until the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That one was awesome. But remember, that was my favorite Batman line out of that. Was, remember, because Wonder Woman's like, oh, we know what you did with Robin, yada yada yada, and it's like, do you want to make him exactly like you? When they were talking about Robin, and he's like, no, I did it so he can be better than me.
Better.
And I love that, because she's like, oh, it's not blinding you. He's like, absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not. Shazam was a big part of that thing. And so, but like I said, Wonder Woman, man, like, I love the first film. I thought they did amazing. Yep. And in this one, they did her justice. I congratulate Zack Snyder on that. But
how do you feel about the resurrection and the new battle scene? And then Soups at the end.
Oh, Soups? Okay. So before, I guess we're leaving Batman to the end for me, right?
Oh, yeah, Batman is my favorite. You got to save the best for last.
Yeah, Batman is my favorite, too. Yeah. So here's the deal. So Superman, I said it in all my reviews and everything else. The death of Superman is my favorite story of Superman of all time.
Of course.
I love all the different iterations. I love the feats that he has, you know what I mean? Everything else, because some of the feats, like me and DJ were arguing with some people online, and we had to show scans. We're like, dude, you have no idea how strong Superman really is.
Really is. Yeah, there's a reason why the dude holds back on a constant basis. That's why I personally am not a fan of him, because he holds back that much. It's like, dude, you have all this power. They're like, you can do so much, and you limit yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? So, like, for me, Injustice Superman is like that. I'm like, let's go. I'm all for that. Like, that all day.
So, I loved Superman in that scan that we provided for that group. Remember, when Darkseid became omnipotent, Superman broke through him.
Yep.
And that just goes to show you how strong he is. And but even with that being said, with all that, I felt like the most compelling story was the death of Superman, even though it ruined the comic book industry. And how they did that, because deaths didn't matter anymore. Because we can bring characters back. Because before, when superheroes died, they died. There was no bringing back. Once Superman came back and the sales went through the roof, everyone's like, oh, wait, we can bring characters back? And then now you expect this all the time, and that's why, it tanked the industry. But having him resurrected with the black suit, in my review, I had what I thought, and then I heard what Zack Snyder said, which made sense, but is not what I took out of it. So Zack Snyder's take was... the black suit represented his homeworld, because Zod's suit was black. Everyone on Krypton's suit was black. Yeah. So in this one, he wears the black suit to represent his homeworld. Now he's not an Earthling. Now he's a Kryptonian. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so... And I see that, and obviously we know the comics. It was to absorb energy faster, especially because he didn't have his powers, before the Eradicator or the Last Son of Krypton was the one that did the power thing. But anyway, the thing I got out of it, like I said in my review, is that if you see him, he wasn't acting normal. He wasn't acting like Golden Boy. When Steppenwolf hit him, and he's like, I'm not impressed, he started talking shit. I'm like, wait. And then when he just started beating on Steppenwolf and then burned off his horn, and you saw how shook Batman was, I was like, yo, this is definitely leading to injustice to me. That Superman is letting go a little bit of his ideology of being that Golden Boy. And if it's true that Zack Snyder did say that he's Kryptonian, you know what I mean, representing Krypton with the black suit, that means, to me, it does confirm it, because Zod was like that. Remember, Zod was all about my people.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Zod was all about my people, the Kryptonians. He didn't care about the Earthlings. And in that instance, like you just said, DJ, he was losing his humanity and being more on like a General Zod. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Now, somebody brought up though with the black suit. So that scene that Snyder did with him absorbing the sun a little bit longer.
Yeah, the Jesus pose
was representative. Yep, the Jesus pose was representative of the suit absorbing more. That's why he was like super strong during that final battle. You know what I mean? So that was a nice little Easter egg to me too.
Yeah. And that goes with the comic too, because remember the comic he did that. That's why he wore the suit and stuff like that.
That's what absorb.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought it was great. I love that when Flash did when you first saw the little bit of time rewinding when he resurrected him, I was like, yo.
That image of him being brought back, like from blood to bones and muscles and all that stuff being reformed, I was like, all right, cool. This is brilliant. I just wish the lightning was like.
That's funny. Yeah. I wish they brought back Superman a little earlier, but again, it would have ruined Cyborg's story to me. So I was okay with it. Yeah. I was okay with Superman not being in it all that time.
I mean, I think they could have brought him back earlier and then just had him at his back at the Kent house. Yeah. You know, giving him a little bit more time to grasp what has happened, you know, with Lois, and to, you know, get back everything that's happened while the rest of the story is proceeding. I think they could have done that, but I mean, I'm not mad at the time that he came back, to be honest with you. I mean, it's more of an opinion based thing on when he came back. I just think it would have added a little bit more. Me personally, I just think it would have added a little bit more of a conflict for him, because you figure the longer you take to figure yourself out, the more of a conflict you're having, which would have read a little bit better with him losing his humanity side when it comes to ending Steppenwolf the way he did.
Yeah, I agree and disagree to a sense. So again, Death Superman is my favorite story. So I loved in that series of when he saw Papa Kent in the afterlife. You know, that I think would have been a fantastic thing to do, like you said, about a conflict, because remember, he doesn't know if he's dead or if it's a dream or whatever, and you find out, you know, that he's really not dead, he's just in this hyper sleep. And especially that when you get the tidbit from Batman v Superman that, you know, the ground started lifting up at the end, I would like to see that he wasn't really dead. Like, they go in the casket, they open it up, and he's not there.
And he's not there. Yes.
And then you're like, wait, what? And then when you go to the ship, you see him like in a cocoon barrier or something. Yeah. That he was, you know, reabsorbing energy.
Yeah.
I would have loved that, dude.
That would have been good.
Yeah. So, Batman. Here we go. The man of the hour. Yo.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
I was never a fan of. Oh, go ahead.
No, real quick. Before we get super deep into all the details about Batman, there was one thing that I didn't really like, and it's just super fast. I didn't like the overuse of CGI. I feel like a little bit more practical effects could have been used with Batman, because he's not necessarily superhuman. He's just peak human. You know, so other than that, I can let you guys pretty much handle that one, because I'm not the biggest Batman fan, but you know, that's just from a movie.
Film altogether, it stood out and it wasn't that great, but it didn't take away from the film.
Yeah.
But on the Batman, I was never big on Affleck. Like, I love Christian Bale as Batman person. Say what you want about the voice and all that. That was Nolan's choice, not Bale's. But anyway, this movie made me like Affleck even more in the role, you know, as Bat. I felt that gravitas and that wear and tear of being there 20 years fighting in Gotham and it taking a toll on him. I felt that more in Snyder's cut with him going to recruit everybody than I did in Whedon's cut. And Affleck knocked it out of the park, to be honest. Like I would like to see possibly another film with him as Bruce more, taking on the role of being the quote unquote leader of the Justice League, you know. So I don't know if we'll get to see that. Like I was highly interested in seeing Affleck's solo film as Bats that was supposed to take place in Arkham, and Wade was going to be the villain of the movie. That would have been awesome, but you know, I definitely wanted to see Affleck more on the role, you know, because I think he would have taken it. We would have got more into seeing all the hurt and pain that he's been through over the years, you know. So. Yeah,
I personally, I would have to say, not as he did. How do I say this? I think he's my favorite Batman, like, as Batman, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, it's a difference between
because
Bats, yeah,
because the martial arts that he does, the everything was on point. You know what I mean? And the fact that happened. Wait, what just happened? Hold on. Sorry, there's something. There you go. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so the fact that happened, that he's doing the martial arts and everything else, I was like, yes, this is what Batman's supposed to be doing. You know, he's an assassin. He has all these skills, and we barely ever get to see them. Like, even though Christian Bale's was good, that you got to see the League of Shadows and stuff like that, in the movie you really don't see all his martial arts training. You know, this Arkham style fighting that Batman was doing, you know, with Affleck was great, man. I thought it was incredible. The only thing that I'm harping on, like me and DJ say a lot, is that you know, the fact that he's killing people and shooting it, you know what I mean? Shooting guns and all that stuff. Like, Batman does shoot guns in the comic, but he doesn't really kill people. You know what I mean?
Not into the Dark Knight Rises.
Dude, even in the Dark Knight Returns,
Returns, yeah.
Yeah, but he breaks people's arms and all that jazz, but he doesn't kill them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's still within an inch of their life at all
Yeah.
times. Like, that's what he does. Like,
well, not until you kill Joker.
Joker,
I was just about to say, like,
but Joker technically killed himself, because he broke Joker's neck. But remember, Joker, if he would have laid there, he would have been paralyzed. But Joker was just the one, like, I got you, because what happened is, now I can frame you for killing me. He's like, I know you're not going to take my life, but I got you. Now I'm going to take mine, and that's why I love the line in The Dark Knight Returns when he's just like, and they'll kill you for this. You know? And then that's when he snaps his own neck. So, but what I'm saying is that having him kill, I guess you're being darker, but then, dude, he's not really Bruce Wayne. He's more of like a Thomas Wayne. You know what I mean? Just like, and especially with the guns. Yeah, he's definitely Thomas Wayne more. And if you're going to do the Dark Knight Returns suit and all that stuff, the pain is great, everything's on point, but I don't want to see him kill anybody. Now, I get it. The parademons, you know, they're not of this world, so a little different story. But come on, man, like, I want to see more of Batman. Like, I want to see the detective work. I want to see the chess master. I want to see why he's Batman. Like I said in my last review, you could have had him more, because in the Joss Whedon, they show the mother boxes everywhere. That's how he pieces it together, you know, and all this jazz. And it was corny how that happened. But I would love that, like, Diana's in that place and he's in the shadows. You know what I mean? Like a ninja, and just watching everything and figuring everything out. Or he could pop up behind her and she's like, oh my God. And like I said in my video, how'd you get in here? I'm Batman. You know, like, like you know, like, you know, I would love to see the more, you know, like how Batman really is, man.
Yep.
And I don't think we got that on the screen just yet. So even though I love Ben Affleck as Batman, I want to see more of that, you know. And like I said, Rob Pattinson's Batman seems to be going down that route. But let's see how far it goes, because if you're going to just strictly stick him into that category of the world's greatest detective, and it's normal detective work, and it's not on the genius that Batman is, and also the skill level that Batman is, because think about it. It's supposed to be portraying Batman Year One, Robert Pattinson's, and that's why you see him like so aggressive and like sloppy and stuff like that. I get it, but dude, you still know every single martial arts on the entire planet.
Yeah.
Have some technique.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you should still be like a combination. You should still be like the love child of Bruce Lee and Sherlock Holmes.
Pretty much.
You know, like.
Pretty much. That's a good way of putting it. God damn you, bro. That's so good.
Yeah.
So that
I don't know. I know you. So the Batman in there, I kind of like that he just that one part of him losing control a bit, you know, because that goes to show like, hey, you know, he hasn't been refined yet.
Yeah.
He's finding his identity.
Dude, my favorite though is that he said, "I'm vengeance." It just reminded me of the '90s cartoon. Yeah, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, you get goosebumps, man.
Yeah, man.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
But I love the nightmare sequence again with him and Leto, where you know it go when Leto hit that trigger of bringing up
Robin,
and the fact that it was Jason that he brought up, but. You know, it goes to show that, like you said, you talked about how, you know, when Dick left, that crushed him because, you know, he pretty much raised it. But then losing Jason the way he did, that was like the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? And it goes to that one scene right there just was so powerful with Batman and Joker's relationship over what 80 plus years now, 50 plus 80 years, something like that. So that scene was amazing. I wish they would have kept the line out of the trailer, you know, with Leto, but that scene was amazing to me. Like I just like I love the look of Leto in that scene. You know?
I wasn't too big a fan of Leto in his original showing as the Joker in the original Suicide Squad.
So this is my argument. This is my argument for Leto in Suicide Squad. There was you know, the look was all David Ayer, you know, growing up in South LA and East LA and all that, or wherever he grew up in LA. Leto's portrayal of Joker was spot on from the 2008 graphic novel Joker. So it had the look of Heath Ledger's Joker, but the dynamic of how Leto portrayed the character and the dynamic of him and Harley, especially, even though it was the quote-unquote director's cut or whatever, it's not really Ayer's cut that he did. Leto's portrayal was exactly ripped from those pages, if you ever read it. And I thought it was pretty spot on.
I honestly haven't to take a look at that one. That's a cool for most of the Jokers, like most of the Jokers that I know, like this dude was like for me, he was like a clown Scarface, and that's not the Joker that I mostly know because I haven't read that particular novel. So, like for me, I wasn't too big a fan of the portrayal that he chose. But in the Snyder's cut, other than the laugh because it's kind of annoying,
I hate all of you right now.
Everything else,
I like it.
Oh my god.
everything else for me with his Joker was great. I especially like the tone that he used when he dropped the line for Jason. You shouldn't have sent a boy wonder to do a man's job.
Yeah.
Like the tone that he had when he dropped that line was great.
Yeah, I loved it. I love the dynamic, but I don't like him as Joker. And even though, like, Marcus, I'm gonna highly disagree with you on that, because even though if certain things are taken from the pages, especially from the director's cut, like I know the director's cut, he pushes Harley Quinn out of the helicopter, she doesn't fall out like the theatrical cut and stuff like that. Like I get that, but it's not Joker. Like, especially like one of my favorite Jokers. Well, my favorite Joker comic of all time is The Killing Joke. My second favorite now is The Three Jokers. That storyline was absolutely incredible. And then it also confirms that The Killing Joke Joker is the original Joker. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the deal is that for me, Leto, I felt, and it's funny because Jeremy Johns, he's a YouTuber, he says this, and I was like, oh my god, I can't unsee it. He's like a Jim Carrey. If he was trying to be like Jim Carrey, who's gonna give you a reach around, huh? You know, like that's like, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and to me, it's like
that's a Deadpool line. That's 100%
absolutely Deadpool line. But like when you're going into voices like that, and you know, you're having this persona that's not someone that's sadistic. To me, it's the sadistic. My favorite Joker played to this day is Joaquin Phoenix, because
he was brilliant. He was brilliant.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
He was.
The subtlety of, because people like to argue, but the subtlety of him is this: Mark Hamill, the greatest Joker of all time.
My number one Joker.
Yep, number one Joker to this day.
If anybody disagrees with it, you're wrong.
Exactly. Thank you, DJ. But he said something about Joker that a lot of people, I feel, didn't get on screen, except for Joaquin Phoenix. And that's this. He goes, Joker's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do. And if you're an unpredictable, crazy psychopath, then you need to act like that on the screen. And then Mark Hamill's key highlight of Joker to show you the range of Joker, he said, was when he thought, remember when he thought Batman died, when that guy killed Batman?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he was going all out on that dude. He's just like, you could have even licked the spit off my spats, and then going, and then he's going and going, and then he's like, but I digress. You know, like, you're like, dude, you were just going ham, and then now it's like, that just goes to show.
You know who I honestly think would play a really good Joker now that you put it like that? Oh man,
my boy already did it. But go ahead.
No, James McAvoy. After seeing the way he
Split.
After seeing the way he did Split, I think James McAvoy would be a really good Joker. I'm sorry, like that's going way off topic, but like it just popped into my head, so I had to throw that out.
I might get ripped for this, but I thought Cameron Monaghan in Gotham. Wait. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me tell you. Because I know you were going to cut me off on that. I'm not talking about later in the series. I'm talking about the very first episode that introduced him as Jerome.
Okay.
Yeah, pre-Joker.
Where James is interviewing him.
Yes, and he's talking about his mom.
And he's talking about his mom, and he just turned it on like a perfect Joker. Like that.
Yes.
He did such an amazing job in that one little scene. That's all I was going to say. I wasn't talking about the rest of the show.
Okay. I was about to say, Marcus.
I was going to say Cameron Monaghan from that scene could be, if he had the chance to portray him more like that, then Cameron Monaghan would be awesome.
For real.
That was one of the things that I really liked about Heath Ledger's Joker too. Like when he was having the conversation with
Two-Face.
With Two-Face, where he's like, if people know what's gonna happen, then they're gonna figure it out little by little. But if I just tell you some random person in a random spot is gonna die, then everybody loses their minds. Give me that all day.
So first, Marcus, you were about to get, I'm Batman, you're wrong. You know, like I was just about to like, what'd you say? You know, like, yeah. But no, I think Joaquin Phoenix played it perfectly. Yeah. Because even though he was like mentally unstable, you never knew what he was going to do as Arthur. Nope. You didn't know. You're like, and then one of my favorite scenes that didn't end up panning out, and I was like, dude, it tricks you. But that goes to show unpredictable is when he killed that guy, and the little person, the guy that he knew was in there, everyone thought he was going to die.
And he just let him go.
Yeah.
Everyone, you're like, oh no.
Gave him a kiss on the forehead.
But not only that.
Just let him go.
But not only that, the whole setup. Remember, he's like, oh, you can go. Yeah. And then he did the jump scare. And then you're like, oh. And then the top thing was locked. And you're like, dude, he's going to kill him. He's going to kill him. But then he does it. And that's what you need. Or the greatest portrayal, someone said the greatest portrayal of that is if you watch closely to his face. And I think it was edited this way, though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you look at his face when he's talking to Robert De Niro, every cut, when you go back to his face, it's different.
It's different. Yes, 100%. I noticed
every small cut is different. So when he's listening to Robert De Niro, he's like this, and then when it cuts back to Robert De Niro, cuts back to him, he's like this, and then when it cuts back and comes back, he's in a different way. So, and then remember, he starts laughing, and then he's like, "Do you think that's funny?" He's like, "Yeah, I do," and then he gets worked up, and then he's like, "You got what you fucking deserve." You're like, "Where did that come from?" Like.
How do you feel about that being kind of an homage to The Dark Knight Returns? That's
you mean with the reporter? Yeah, when he breaks the mug and kills. Yeah, I think that
he's gonna kill everyone.
Yeah. I think it was great, but that's what I feel that's missing from Jared Leto's. The whole rant about this is that I feel like that's what's missing from Jared Leto's Joker. I feel like Jared Leto's Joker was more of like, how do you say it? It was more of a gangbanger. He was more.
That's David Ayer, though. Being from LA.
I know.
Are like that. So
I know, man, but you
can't get away from it.
Yeah, and that's what ruined it for me in Suicide Squad. Yeah. And then Zack Snyder redeemed that. Mm-hmm. I still feel
he really did.
He really did. That's one thing I can't harp on, but I just don't like his voice, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But the dynamic between him and Ben Affleck in that scene, I can't deny it, bro. It's incredible.
It's so good. It's so good, bro.
All right.
I really wanted because the promotional pictures Zach kept releasing.
Yeah.
Leto and Arkham. Those photos. I wish we would have got that in the film. That would have been cool to see.
I wish, man.
With this whole thing being on Batman, I will say, thank God, because this is the first time we get Batman fighting like Batman.
Yep.
Thank God. Yep. I'm not a huge fan of the stiff movements and stuff like that. Yes, I know I said earlier that they needed to do more practical effects and stuff like that. However, the fight style is so much like Arkham.
Yep.
And you can't deny Batman fighting like that. It is so good.
My only issue with that is that, like I said in my review, is that Batman's supposed to be stronger than the average human. He's for a human being. Yeah, for a human being, he's abnormally strong. So, again, that doesn't mean he's anywhere near as strong as Aquaman or anybody with enhanced abilities like that. But for a human, he's hella strong. There's a lot of panels in the comics that it shows that. You know, he's lifting up a whole ceiling that crashed down on him, you know, ripping bars from a prison. You know what I mean? There are bars in concrete, and he's ripping them apart and ripping them out to escape. You know, he's benching, I think they said, what was it, 1,000 pounds or something like that? You know, I want to see that. I know that in not Justice League, excuse me, in the Christian Bale version, they remember the enhancements when he was fighting, on his legs and stuff like that, and it broke through the concrete. That's how Batman is supposed to be without any enhancements. That's supposed to be just Batman. I
kind of got that in BVS though, in the Ultimate Edition.
Did you? You see, I still haven't seen that. I need to.
Well, no, not BVS. Yeah, BVS.
Yeah.
The warehousing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You can look at that up in the Ultimate Edition, where he just pretty much rocks bottom the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
And then he does some other stuff where you see his strength.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so we're gonna wrap up soon. So who do we miss? Who do we want to talk about? We talked about pretty much the whole squad. We barely talked about Darkseid though.
So I was gonna say, other than the CGI, I love how that lingering feeling he leaves throughout the film.
Yeah,
like you're wondering, like, okay, what are we gonna get a peek of next?
Yeah.
You know, and then that ending scene, like, we gotta go back to the old ways, man. Like, oh shit, like
that's what Nate was saying. So DJ, I wanted to catch you up on that. So good, this is a great way to close it all. Nate was saying that he thinks, and I was just like, holy shit, you're probably right. He thinks the reason why Darkseid didn't jump through the portal then to fight them is because, and I said this too, to hop on, piggyback on his thing, is that that's the true Darkseid. Like, if he entered through the portal, that reality would be done.
That would be dope.
So that's why.
Absolutely love that.
So that's why he said, oh, we got to go to the old ways. And Nate is thinking that he has to possess
creating avatars.
Yeah, he has to go and either like possess a body to create an avatar to go to that world.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Because the one thing that I disagreed with was that when he showed up, he should have showed up as Uxas instead of Darkseid.
But he did. He did in the.
But when he was introduced, they even introduced him back then as Darkseid, as opposed to saying,
true.
Oh, you're talking about
as opposed to saying there was this being named Uxas that did this, that, and third, and there's something that he gains. I forgot exactly what it's called in the comics.
I think he betrays his dad. I think, right? He betrays his dad.
And there's something that he gains. There's a power that he gains.
The Omega power.
The Omega effect.
Yeah.
And once he gains the Omega effect is when he becomes Darkseid.
Darkseid, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which was cool when, you know, we were seeing the future stuff. And, you know, like when we see him using the Omega beams on
Aquaman. Oh my God. Yo. Okay, we could go on that a whole nother day.
Dude, you know, like
killing the foe like that is brutal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, so like it was that was awesome. I just feel like he could have been introduced as what he should have been introduced. It's almost like we're with the DCEU, we're erasing their original, a lot of these people's original intros. Like I said earlier with Flash and the Scarlet Speedster, Darkseid being Uxas. You know what I'm saying? Like we're trying. They're trying so hard to rush ahead that they're not giving us comic book fans some of the things that we would really want. Like some of the little minuscule things that don't take a lot. It'll take you 2.5 seconds to introduce him as Euxis instead of Darkseid.
Yeah.
You know?
But I feel
he could have still stayed. He could have still stayed known as Darkseid now via Steppenwolf and Desaad. But when the only thing that Wonder Woman knows about him is Euxis was looking for the Omega effect, or Euxis was looking for the anti-life equation, or whichever the case, you know. And then still later on, you know, they could have taken 5 minutes instead of like 5 minutes out of Lois being sad. They could have taken it to put towards him finding the Omega effect and becoming Darkseid.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel that's where we're gonna have to disagree a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because remember, we're not the only people watching it as fans. You have people that have no idea. So if you say Euxis, you know, people are gonna be like, "Who's that?" But if you say Darkseid, everyone knows who Darkseid is. Does that make sense? It's this.
Yeah.
It's the same thing of saying, "Oh, Shao Kahn before he's Shao Kahn." But everyone's like, "Bitch, who the fuck was Shao Kahn before he was Shao Kahn?" Like, no one knows unless you play Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? Like heavily, then you know people's backstories. But again, if you just mention Shao Kahn, they're like, "Oh, I know that guy. That's the guy with the thing, right?" And you see what I'm saying with the thing, right? They're like, "Yeah, with the hammer."
But in all fairness, like when you mention Shao Kahn, like you said, he has the big hammer. When you mention Darkseid already has like the Omega symbol on his chest. He already has, you know, he already has his armor. He's already able to use the Omega beams and stuff like that. Which, you know, I will say this though, Snyder did a really good job of not letting him use the Omega beams in the war when they talk about him previously.
Yes,
he did that small detail right there is something that I know a lot of people will overlook. Snyder did a very good job of not allowing him to use the Omega beams in that moment.
Yeah, for that reason, which is great.
Yes,
because that would have been the end of the battle period. Him being able to
exactly. Exactly,
dude. Everyone would be dead. Everybody on that field, dude.
Talking about the snap and everything. Now that would have been like
exactly.
You know, like
it would have been like Yondu.
They only showed you a small snippet of the Omega beam. They could have stretched throughout all of Atlantis if you wanted it to. At that point, there were no Atlanteans left in the nightmare. So, like,
man, and then Steppenwolf was definitely way better.
Oh my god,
dude,
better, dude. League's
Thank God, none of that. Mother.
I like Steppenwolf as a character better. I wasn't too big a fan of the CG they used for his armor.
The new one or the old one?
Simply the new one.
Oh, really?
The new one. Yeah, I wasn't too big a fan of it. Simply because I feel like there are a lot of, like me and you talked about, there, a lot of places look a lot like Gotham throughout the entire DCEU.
Yeah.
Where you know, like, even though Metropolis in the DCEU is like right across the lake, it's still like a city of hope. There should still be some sort of brightness to it. You know, same thing with Atlantis. Atlantis looks like an underwater Gotham. I know it's underwater, but I forgot the specifics of how it happens. But there's still rays of light that shine on Atlantis. You know, so things shouldn't be so dark. And when you look at Steppenwolf's armor in contrast to the dark filter that they have, everything shines off of his armor so bright that it almost makes it look borderline cringy with the CGI. You know, and then and I use the Destroyer armor for this reason. When Steppenwolf was getting beaten, his armor never really got dirty. When you look at the way some of the things that Marvel has done, like with the Destroyer armor, like I said, when it was getting beaten, it got dirt on it. It got rusty. It got, dingy and stuff like that. Whereas Steppenwolf's armor looked pristine throughout the whole film.
Well, I think to me that would be because Steppenwolf is supposed to be like the White Knight of Darkseid.
But if you're getting pounded on by Superman and there's a bunch of gravel getting blown all over you, and like your armor is clearly not able to handle the beating you're getting, it shouldn't be as pristine as it is when you first walked into battle. You know, that's just a nitpicky thing for me when it comes to his armor. Like, there should be, like, give me some texture to his armor. Throw some dirt on it, you know, like, throw some kinks in the chain, you know, because he's obviously already had a battle with Wonder Woman. And, you know, like we mentioned earlier, she did hold her own against him, you know, so, like, just give me a little, yeah, you know, like, give me something that shows that he did take the damage that you showed she put out.
Yeah, I think that was more on the level also of like Iron Man's nanobots, like hit, but you know what I mean? Like it would come back because
adaptable.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is because when you cut off his head,
his nanotech, even with Iron Man's nanotech, if you look at it, there's still pieces and kinks in the chains missing. You know what I'm saying? It's just those little things that like kind of, I don't want to say take me out of a film, but make me recognize it as a film, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
But the way he was portrayed in the film was a lot better.
Oh, thank God.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, his character development.
My one issue was yes,
his character development
like
was way better.
Felt for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You really did. You felt for Steppenwolf when he was just like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
You know, he felt like a disgrace
for him in those moments.
He felt like a disgraced warrior, just trying to get back in good graces, just trying to get back home.
Mm-hmm.
Even
but
though
then
he's the uncle of Apocalypse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt that he still had like that, oh, I'm his uncle, I should be in power, but yet still wanting approval.
Well, I think that's what it was, right, Marcus? That he betrayed Darkseid. He tried to take the power, and that's what happened. That's why he got
because he felt deserving. He felt deserving because of the fact that he's his uncle.
Yeah.
You know? So
incredible, dude.
But you felt that in this movie. You felt those dynamics. You know,
dude, I felt like he was an unstoppable force, like in this one, instead of the Joss Whedon one. Dude, he was whooping everybody.
He was a beast.
Everybody. It didn't matter who was getting it. Everyone's catching smoke, bro. Everybody.
For sure.
He was saying,
for sure.
You get ass whooping. You get ass whooping.
For real, bro. And then not only that, like it's just like I ain't telling you shit. And it's like you already did. Pulls it out of your head. You're like, what? What? Oh my god.
So good.
All right. Well, fellas, thank you so much, man. This was a trip, and to all you viewers, yes, this is a little longer than normal. That's because Justice League is 4 hours long, and we went on about a 2-hour rant. But you know, these guys, man, thank you guys so much for being on here, and I already thanked Nate too. Like, you know, I love it because I'm a big Batman fan. That's where most of my knowledge is. So for you guys to bring in new perspectives, that's why I love talking to each and every one of you. You always make me realize the importance of characters and, you know, how it's much more depth in the DC universe. And yeah, I couldn't have done it without you. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having us. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
keep doing what you're doing, man.
I appreciate it, guys. And so thank you. Yeah, so everybody, we hope you liked this massive information. I'm pretty sure your ears are smoking from all the knowledge. And but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will talk to you soon. Take care, stay safe. Love you. Peace.